So welcome to this 10-minute tips. We will take about 10 minutes, but if you want to stay and ask questions and do other things afterwards, we'll stay as long as you need to. The idea with today's session is to just give you a few management or office things all related to the computer to kind of make your life a little easier or more efficient. And you may already know all of these, but I'm hoping there's at least one thing you don't know, and I think it's worth 10 minutes of your time to pick up one little tip. So hopefully you'll come away with something useful here. As with all of these, if you, like I said, if you want to stay and explore these more, we will, or if you want more in-depth, just let us know and we'll set up a session where we can help you do some of this thing a little bit more. So I'm going to share my computer with you now. Take just a second for that to get going. There we go. And the first thing, a couple of things we're going to do here. We're going to talk about Outlook and some other keyboard shortcuts, and then a little bit about Word. Then Tyler's going to show us another Word thing, some browser, and then some GeorgiaVIEW tips. So hopefully from among all of these you'll find something useful. So first thing I'm going to do is show you my Outlook window. So if you're anything like me, and I think most people have this experience, that you get emails all the time and you've got these things you've got to try to remember to do, and the email inbox gets long and lost. So I just want to show you that there are a number of things that you can do to manage that. Not that I'm do it that well, but I try hard. So notice on this email here for David Long up here at the top, if I right click on it, I have the option here to follow up, and I can mark it with these flags. And then now you see on the far right there's the flag. And then when I come in the next day, I can sort by flag. You see the top right corner here, sort by flag status. So I could see all the things that have the dark red flag that are things that I'm supposed to do that day or the next week or whatever that it may be. I can right click on that flag status to change it or to remove it. What I don't use that too much myself, but one thing I do with email is I set a reminder. So I'll right click on the email itself and come down to the follow-up, and you see the add reminder option there. So I'll right click, follow-up, add reminder, and then I can set a time for whenever I want. And then when that time arrives, it will pop up a little dialogue, sort of like a calendar reminder to do that thing. So that way I don't have to worry about where it is in my inbox or anything, but I can set a reminder to do this thing or remember that you've got to do this thing at that time. The other thing that I do with this that I think's something I do all the time is, so I've got this email that tells me, remember, you've got to do something. Let's look at this email from Tyler. He's reminding me to shave for that big meeting tomorrow. So, but you have emails like this of something, you know, I need this by next Tuesday. In 3 weeks, we've got that meeting you've got to have that stuff for. How do you remember that without creating a new calendar item and put it on there? And this is a really simple thing, again, that I do all the time. It's really useful. Is just take that email, I'm left clicking on it, and I'm dragging it down to the calendar icon you see over here on the left. And when I let go, popped up on my other monitor, it creates an appointment reminder from that email. And then you see here I have my start time, end time. So this is just like creating a calendar item. And that's basically what I've done, is I've taken that email and created a calendar item. Then I click Save and Close, and now I have on my calendar this email as a reminder. And then, this is the good part, then I can go in and delete this email, get it out of my inbox, so I don't have to think about it anymore. So that's a really useful one to me. Again, you just take the email item, drag it to the calendar, create the calendar item, and then you can delete the email item. A couple of other things with Outlook that I think not everybody knows is you can create folders, and you see I have a zillion of them over here on the left, but I have folders that I keep emails related to different topics in, and you just click and drag an email over to the folder if you want to. But the other thing that you can do that's really interesting is, we'll click this one here, if you right-click on the email and go down to Rules and Create Rule, right-click, Rules, Create Rule, you can actually create a rule to tell Outlook what to do with that email when it comes in. So I can say anything from David Long that you see here, or anything that contains this subject, or anything sent to a certain person or whatever. Do this with it. I can display an alert, play a sound, or what I do here is move this item to a folder. So I have a number of emails that I get regularly that I have a rule created for, and I tell it to move items to a certain folder. And so for a lot of these over here, you'll see this RACD one here. Their emails to RACD get sent there automatically, and it's telling me I have 6 unread ones there. But that's one way of keeping all these emails out of my inbox, is by putting them there, and then I can look at them intentionally when I want to look at that topic or that kind of things. So that's one thing that's useful. I'll switch over to Word for a minute and show you a couple of other things. There's a tool called Phrase Express. You can Google that and find it. It's a tool that you install on your computer, and it allows you to create really easy and even pretty elaborate shortcuts to make things faster for you. I actually only use 2 right now, but you may want to, I can imagine that there are situations where you might want lots of other ones. For example, GeorgiaVIEW, you know, I love to write it a certain way, and it's a pain to type. So I have this shortcut in Phrase Express. I just type anywhere, GV, in space, and it automatically types out GeorgiaVIEW. Likewise, BSc becomes Bainbridge State College. So all I did, again, is type GV in space, and Phrase Express quickly adds that for me. Now, the cool thing about this is this works on just about any program on your computer, including GeorgiaVIEW. So if you're in GeorgiaVIEW, you could have phrases, you know, like, you know, can't think of a good example at the moment, but some sort of comment that's common that you're going to give to a student, cite your source or something like that. You could just have a quick shortcut from that in discussions or feedback or email or anywhere, and Phrase Express will do that for you. So again, Phrase Express, it does this in any program on your computer. Yeah, and Tyler put the Phrase Express link in the chat window, so you can put that in there. Phrase Express. Now, another thing that you may not know about really quickly is Word macros. You can create similar things in Word. We're in Word here. And up at the top left-hand corner, I've created a macro, which is basically a shortcut as a button, but it can also be a keyboard shortcut. In this case, though, I'm just going to put my cursor where I want it, click that button that I've created, and it automatically put all that information in there. So macros are a way of creating these kind of shortcuts, and as you see, there's a lot of information even with formatting in that. And all I did was click this button in the top left-hand corner that I created with the macro to do that. That's a little bit more involved with that, but I want you to know that the macros exist, and if you want to know more about how to do that, just ask me. Let me quickly hand it over to Tyler so we can get through quickly. Tyler?
Okay, so I'm going to continue in Word here. Let me just share my screen. And one of the things I want to show before we move on to some of the other features is if you're using Office 2013, which you can get if you're on campus now, one of the things that they have is if you go to Insert, you've got apps available now. And I just wanted to highlight, there's lots of apps you can put in word clouds, you can put in graphs, but I wanted to highlight one, which is the Wikipedia app. And I use this one not so much for content from Wikipedia, but more for images. The reason for this is that Wikipedia uses either public domain or Creative Commons licensed images, so you can be sure that when you're using Wikipedia that you have the rights to use those images. So if I want to search for a topic like World War II, then I can click on Images, and it's going to pull up images, and I can add those directly to either a Word document or a PowerPoint. So this, instead of searching for just the perfect image using Google image search, you can pull up images right away, add it to your document, and it's actually going to put in a source with a link, so you're doing a good citation there as well. So that can be used across Office. And again, if you don't have 2013 yet, that's something that you can get on the campus. The other things I want to look at is more browser-based. So I've got here my browser, and you can see up at the top here, I've got a lot of tabs open, and if you're like me, then you tend to have tabs continually growing. And this eventually is going to slow down performance for your computer. So I wanted to introduce what I use to help handle this, which is called One Tab, which is available for Chrome and Firefox. And what this does is I've got this extension way up in the top right corner here, if you can see that. I'll highlight that. It pops down a One Tab. And what I can do is just click that, and it's going to close all of those browsers and put it in a nice little organizational way based on the time that I click that tab. And so I can open up all of these by clicking Restore All when I'm ready to look at all of them again, or I can just click on one of them or two of them and open the ones that I need when I need them. And so those pages are closed. They're not using memory, so you're saving some space there for your performance, but they're there and they're not really bookmarks, so you can just get back to them in a quick way. They open up real quick, and then if you need to, you can close it again, open it again. If you close your browser and open it again, One Tab is going to stay there, so it always kind of pops up and is available even if you accidentally close it out. And I need to get back to bainbridge.edu, so I've come to One Tab and I can pull that up right away. The other thing, since we've switched over to our new website, one of the great things that you can do here is the search function up at the top here is very useful. It can really help you in finding things that you need on our campus website. So if I'm looking for, I want to make sure that my courses are accessible. If I search for accessible or accessibility, I can find any of the pages that are related to that. So if I'm doing something for GeorgiaVIEW with accessible content, it's pretty easy to find that just using the search function. I'm going to move over to GeorgiaVIEW now, and I've got a course here. One of the things, just this is kind of browser.
Interrupt you. Rachel wants to know if she's logged into GeorgiaVIEW and adds it to One Tab, will it log her out?
No. So that was, I just did my One Tab there, and if I click on, I had two GeorgiaVIEW things open, so I'm still logged in there. Now, depending how long ago you logged out, that might be a different case, but at least if you've minimized it and then brought it back, it should keep you logged in. For GeorgiaVIEW in the browser, there's a number of places where you can, not everywhere, but a number of places where if you right-click and you open links in a new tab, this can be an effective way, especially like if you're doing grading or if you're building content, to have two windows open that can help you to do that. It's even better if you can do it as two windows where you can see all the information there. So for example, discussions, a lot of people have issues with the grading and discussions, and that can be a problem, but you can come here and open up the gradebook and open up discussions here and do your discussions and your grading at the same time. Within the gradebook, a couple other ways that we can speed things up. One is your settings. If you click on the grades setting, the default is to go to Manage Grades, and then you have to click over and go to Enter Grades. Once your course is set up, there's probably not too many times that you need to go to Manage Grades, and you can go directly to Enter Grades. And the way to do this is go to that Settings button, and your Start page down here under your Personal Display Options, just change that to Enter Grades. Save it, and then the next time you come back to the course, it'll take you directly to the gradebook. So that's just a couple more clicks that you're going to save. Also in the gradebook, we have a lot of icons if you've associated your assignments with grade items. So here you can see an icon for discussions, icons for Dropbox, also icons for quizzes. So you can click on any of these and you can get more information. So for example, you can see a quiz attempt. For a discussion, you can actually go in and see their discussion posts. The one caveat here is that you cannot really see the context that it's in, so you can't see what they might be replying to or which posts they're talking about. But it can be a quick way to get an idea of what kind of discussions your students are participating in. You can also do the same for Dropbox. So we can click here and it's going to open our evaluation page. And you can either, once you finish giving an evaluation for one student and publishing that, you can close this out and go back to Gradebook. Or you can also use the buttons here, the navigation, to go to the previous student or the next student there. The last thing I wanted to look at is also in Dropbox, and this is just when we're looking at if you have a lot of submissions and you want a quick way to evaluate and read those, what you can do is actually select all and download, and you can download all of the submissions at once. If you're someone who likes to give comments to students in their Word documents or in their submissions and give them that feedback that way, you can actually download these. It's going to put it in a zip folder. And then once you unzip it, give comments, zip it back up, and you can actually use this button here, the Add Feedback Files. And as long as you haven't changed the name of those files, it will redistribute the documents to the correct student just by adding them all kind of a bulk upload way. It doesn't do any of the evaluation grading part, but it will give them any comments you have on those documents.
Okay, and that's our 15-minute tips today, 10-minute tips. We're a little ambitious there. I'm going to stop the recording now, and if you want to stay and